In this video, I'm going to show you how to accept a load and update all the events for load pickup. This is where you start with an empty and pick up loaded container, bring it back to the rail. So the first thing you do once you're at the main menu of the app is click dispatch. And on the first screen, always look for driver notes. You're always going to have special instructions. In this case, we're telling you to go ahead and get a 40-foot chassis from the yard, or go to CN to get a 40-foot TSXZ. And we stated booking is not required. So always pay attention to here. Important information. If you miss these notes, it may create a problem down the line with the load and prove costly. And also always note the load number, because you're going to need that when you turn in your paperwork, and we want you to note that on the envelope. So the next thing we want you to do is click on the arrow to go into the next screen. With this load, I want you to pay attention so you know what you're looking for. The minute you see here where it says pick up load, you know that you're actually taking an empty and going to pick up a load at a shipper's location. Because if this was a delivery, it would say deliver or drop load. But when you see pick up load, that means you're starting with an empty and picking up a load. So going back to the beginning, we want you to start updating the load the minute you start on this load. So the first thing we want you to do, click on the arrow where pick up chassis. Hit completed, and here we want you to, once you pick up your empty, to put in the chassis number. In this case, it's going to be TSXZ 123456, for example. Once you put it in there, go ahead and send update, hit OK, and you just sent us the chassis number. We also want you to update us on the container number. And here we're telling you to go pick up the container from Illinois Transport. And like I said, always pay attention to the notes at the beginning of the load, because assuming that the container was already at Kiswani Trucking, it will still say Illinois Transport here, but you would have missed that. So always make sure that you pay attention, and the first thing you do is when you open the load is look at the driver's notes. Very important. So you already got the empty. You know what the container number is. You're going to put it here. Very important. This is how you communicate the container number to us, and we can proceed with other things. So let's say the container initials happen to be ZCSU 213456. So if that's what the container number is, go ahead and put that in, and you hit send, hit OK. And you just sent us the container and the chassis number in the last two steps. And you see that by, now you can see that the container number and the chassis number here. And also you see pickup chassis and pickup container. It says completed. So always make sure you do that on timely. We want you to send that as soon as you have it, because customers want that information. We also need that information to start the billing process. So now you're on your way to the customer to pick up the load. And let's say you've arrived at the customer. So here you can go and hit completed, and you can see where you can fill in information. But at this point, we don't want you to do that until you have already completed the load pickup. So if you go back at this point, when you have reached the customer for pickup, hit check call on arrival. And what this does, it tells your dispatcher or the dispatchers that you have arrived to the shipper, and puts them on guard that you're there already. And let's say 2 hours later, you have picked up your load and you're ready to send us the load information so we can go ahead and do rail billing. So that's where you go into the load again. And this is where you're ready to update us. So you hit completed. And this is where we want you to put the information. So you're going to put in the arrival time. And let's say you arrived at noon. So enter that, and let's say your left and your load is completed at 1:30 p.m. You enter that, and now this is where you're ready to provide us with the load information. Let's say it's 20 pallets. Weight is 40,958 pounds. Next. In the seal is 543768. Okay, now you're done with entering the information. But before you do that, we want you to go ahead and go to camera. Hit from camera because you already take a picture for us. You get the screen, and you're gonna take a picture of the bill of lading. Start low. Let's assume you have hit the check mark. Let's say you have multiple pages. You're gonna hit camera again. You're gonna take another picture. Hit camera. Hit the check mark. And now you're ready to upload. And now it says, because you have 2 pages, it says all 2 documents successfully uploaded. So now you know that you're going to be sending us 2 pages, and that's what we're looking for. And now that you have all that, we want you to go ahead and send update to us. And now what you've done is tell us when you arrived, when you left, and also sent us the 2 pages that we needed so we can go ahead and submit the rail billing. And basically, as far as the load, that's it. But there's one more piece of information, is where to take the loaded container. And if you go back into the load, we should have that information already in there. And it tells you to take the container, loaded container, to NS 79th Street. So that's where you go. And once you've arrived to 79th Street, you can just send us an update. Hit OK. And we know that you arrived at NS Landers. And after you've done that, you know that chassis is needed to go somewhere else. And we're already telling you, you should already be familiar with this procedure. If it's a pool chassis, TSXZ, DCLI, COCP, it needs to go to the CN or CSX. Or if it's a Kiswani chassis, triaxle or company-owned chassis, needs to come back to our yard. And once you arrive back at the yard and done with all that, or terminate the chassis at the pool location, CN or CSX, send an update that you finished the load, and basically that's it. Thank you.